everyone, it's Lindsay from the blog Books for Christian Girls, and today's video is going to be a little chatty, a little unholy, and just reorganizing my books because personally I love watching the reorganization videos because I love organizing. So if you do too, I hope you enjoy this video. And without further ado, I'm just going to kind of talk about why I'm doing this, and then we will get into the actual messing up the bookshelf part of this video. So yeah. Been a bit since I filmed for different reasons and different things changed, but one positive thing that happened was our blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com hit 500,000 page views, and that's just kind of mind-blowing. Again, I've talked about it before. I never really thought anyone except me or people who knew me would really ever view BFCG, so the fact that there is over 500,000 views is amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're approaching the 7th year in April, so about 6.5 years, and that's just really incredible. So I just wanted to real quick thank everyone who's ever viewed BFCG in a helpful light, and just yes, thank you for sharing about this channel and the blog and everything. Just thank you. So that little happy news to the side, I don't have my thing to sit on, but oh well. I'm just going to talk and stand. There we go. So, in my last few videos this year, I know this year's almost over, so that maybe will tell you I've been debating this for a while, is the books behind me in my bookshelf. Personally, when I watch other booktubers, I typically look behind them and look at their bookshelves if they're sitting in front of a bookshelf. I think most of us booktube watchers can admit to that. So, I personally have been feeling a little conflicted, I guess would be the word, of some of the books on this shelf. And yes, all of these books are considered Christian fiction, but there's some that really I don't feel like meet my standards anymore. And originally I had standards of when two of the sweet girls I babysat for years, when they would come over, chances are somehow it would happen that they would open the book that I would be a little leery of because of one like detailed kiss, or just something that I'm just like, I really don't want their young eyes to see that. And so I made the commitment to that never happened. I'd like to say that never happened, but because I was afraid of that happening, I didn't keep any of the books that had that. Even if I enjoyed the rest of the book, if it had a kiss like that or just a comment or something that just was uncomfortable, I didn't want to keep it. And I've really been feeling a little conflicted because in my last videos, I feel like, maybe watchers of many of my videos will also feel this way as well, that I've been talking about the same amount of books. Why am I already hoarse? I just started talking. I feel like that I have been talking about a lot of the same books over and over again, and when they're favorites, I mean, yes, definitely expect that. I think every booktuber will admit that they have a few books or one classic book that they talk about the most on their channel, and I think that's okay. But for me personally, I'm like, I stand behind all of these books. How come I can't talk about more of them? And it's truly because this is from a collection of almost 7 years. And there's some I don't remember that I read in 2013, 2014, and that was a long time ago. So I really just want to kind of go through my books. I actually already made up a list, And yet, this is a really messy list, so don't pay attention to it. And I wrote it in red sparkle glitter pen for some reason. Made it fun. So I'm calling this Unhauling because there's about 10 books roughly. I will be just automatically going ahead and just going to unhaul. But I have a long list of other ones that I'd like to reread to see if I will either keep them or not keep them. To unhaul them. And the thing is, I've never done an unhaul video on this channel before because for me, while I enjoy watching others, I feel like it's just a little too negative for my channel, which is kind of weird in a way. I don't know why I've always thought that. I want to change my bookshelf in the sense of I want to look at my bookshelf and not feel any like, oh, I love all these books, except, well, that one I don't really remember. That kind of thing. I want to come into my room, look at my bookshelf, and go, I enjoyed every single one of these books. And yes, obviously, that's going to take me a while to accomplish, because I don't plan on rereading all of these, but it's a good chunk of these. And I've actually been kind of not debating, but processing what will happen in this video and with this list for the last couple of days, because I feel like I'm kind of potentially going to eliminate this rainbow bookcase by half. And while yes, that kind of makes my heart kind of hurt, I don't really want to be someone who just stands in front of a pretty bookshelf and doesn't truly care and know about the books on her shelf. And it's not saying I don't know these books, but like, it's been a while since I've read them. My opinion of them might have changed. An example of that, the first book I read for this kind of challenge the other day was actually Prelude for a Lord by Camille Elliott. And I've had this book on my shelf, and this is one of the ones I remember really loving the historical violin mystery of this Regency book, but I'm pretty sure it was really kissy, and darn it was it kissy. And I'm not really for that. And like there was a few other suggestive parts. And so I'm just like, so this book has been in almost every single one of my videos. At least it's been pretty viewable. I mean, maybe I covered most of the time. I probably covered it most of the time. But it's been viewable in a lot of my videos, and I just kind of feel like I've let y'all down with that, and I hate that feeling. But we're going to change that. We are going to change that. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and keep this book out. So basically, what I'm going to do today is basically separating. I'm not going to pull all my books off, but by the end of this, it might feel like I am. So obviously, like, I'm going to be keeping my Janice Thompson books and Krista McGee and Erin Mangum and different things. But this is definitely going to be a process. And like, this is what? My 96th video? I had to look that up, and it was not an easy way to look it up. Well, it was once I figured it out, but I had to Google it, so I don't consider that easy knowledge. Anywho, so like there's certain authors I'm obviously going to keep because they're my favorites, but there's a few ones in here that I'm just like, did I really like this book? And I looked back at my reviews, and my final thoughts in a lot of old reviews are weak. Like I feel like words, but it's just, there's some I need to reread and see if I'm going to keep them or not. And like with the one I just mentioned, I will not be keeping that one. So I guess that's kind of an unhaul. But for this video, I'm not going to go through and say, hey, I'm removing this, and this, but I'm keeping this, and this. Like I'm not going to do that because I feel like that's a little, number one, time consuming in editing, but also I don't feel like that's very interesting. So I was in the middle of a sentence and I went off onto a bunny trail. That's not the story of my life. Oh, I'm going to do this video into this video is going to become like a little mini series on this channel. Basically, one thing I've really noticed, and I had this difficulty in 2019's releases, and now looking ahead to 2020, is, now, if you're new here, hi, my name's Lindsey. I really just talk about Christian fiction and nonfiction because that's what I read is Christian books. So in the Christian publishing, I feel like, now again, remember, I've been in this industry almost 7 years now. So I really feel like I'm seeing a lot of repetition, and like a good example of that would be in Amish books. I feel like it's very rare to find a Amish book that's not about someone finding out a birth secret or a family secret or not wanting to be Amish or going through the runaround period that I can't pronounce that word. So like, I feel like it's always in those categories. And therefore, I really haven't read any new Amish releases because I feel like I've already seen it before. And that's not to say like this author of this new book isn't going to do it differently. The back cover just doesn't show me otherwise. And it doesn't intrigue me. So I've really been having that difficulty with this channel as well, as I feel like I don't have many good books left to talk about. And good in my standard is just very clean. And some people think that's boring. And you know, okay, to each their own. But that's what I talk about on this channel, is books that I feel comfortable talking about to different age ranges. So there's been a lot of debating and a lot of thinking about it. We'll be doing an anticipated releases for 2020. I'll probably do that here before December or before the new year. But I'm not really looking forward to many new releases. I think I found like 5 or 6, and then there's 2 other books I'm looking forward to that don't have release days yet. So I mean, there's not really that much in my opinion, because I feel like, number one, the Christian publishing is getting more selective in what they publish, which I mean, I understand, but what they do publish is either an author that I don't read because of past books having content, or the plot doesn't interest me because I've seen it before, or, you know, just different things like that. So I've kind of been feeling a little stuck and I don't know-ish. I don't think I don't know-ish is a word, but that's what sums up my feelings, is like, I don't know. I'm not sure what to do. There's a plane. There we go. And you know, I've always been told, like, write what you would read. And one day maybe, yes, I will become an author, but right now I don't feel like that is a plan for this stage of my life. Yes, I have many ideas that I would love to see, but personally I would rather read them than write them. So, yeah. So, you know, maybe one day that will happen. So basically, all of that said, the actual point of this video, and those were all my thoughts about this video, and now actually in this video, is I am going to categorize these books into 3 different, I guess categories would be the way to describe it. And I'm not taking all these books off my bookshelf because that would be too much work. And that would be way too much work. But by the end of it, it might be a little bare looking. So first things first is I'm going to remove my flowers because, as you can tell, it's cold. And as much as I love my springtime flowers, I feel a little silly when I'm fixing to have to put like not Christmas lights, but you know, my little decorations for my bookshelf later. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove my flowers. So that will be the first thing. And then I'm going to organize books I have on this messy list and another list. So I'm going to do it books I want to keep, but I don't really think need to be on these main bookshelves. So like at the tippy top, which you saw in all the B-roll, was a really messy. Like the tippy top of this one is super duper messy right now. And those are basically like childhood books, but not really from my childhood, just books I would maybe want to keep one day for my own kids, which is coming in a long time, but just to have, and ones I enjoyed. And like if I babysit young ones again, like, hey, this is something they can read. If they're a reader, they can borrow it, that kind of thing, like I've done with my other girls who are all grown now. But yeah, so there's some books I would just want to take off and remove from here. And then my straight up ones I'm just going to unhaul. And then I have the ones I'm going to pull off of this bookshelf, stick somewhere else, either up there or in here, of books that I need to reread and then decide will they be going back on this bookshelf. And honestly, it's a pretty big list. So I've been mentally preparing myself, and I'm telling this for you to prepare yourself too, that I will be most likely eliminating probably half of this bookcase, these rainbow books. I'm a little, at least for this, pulling everything off to see if I'm going to reread it or not. So, without further ado, I'm actually going to take this off because I'm already getting hot. It's cold outside, not in here. So I have a cup of green tea. I'm going to maybe put on music. No, my phone's charging. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to start pulling like childhood books, and time-lapse footage commits now. Okay, as of doing this, I'm realizing that I didn't grab the flowers off, so I need to grab the flowers before they fall. But this is the stack of books that, they're not all of like childhood books, but they're like shorter ones, and mainly all of these are, like almost all of these, I'd say like 90% of these are dealing with horses. And horses are great, beautiful creatures. I'm not necessarily a horse girl, so while I enjoyed this series, well, not lovely, this is mini-series right here, but I don't really think I'm going to I don't really want them full front on this bookcase. They're ones that I would save. I'm going to set them down because although they're little, they're heavy. So those I'm going to put up at the top of a book, at the bookshelf, and pull down some of those. So there is that stack. So with that done, I'm going to grab the flowers and then work on the big master list. Alright, so flowers removed, good, we're good to go on there. So now we are going to remove the books that I'm just going to straight up, I'm not going to keep. So these, I guess I'll talk about these, make it a little more of an interesting video. I don't know if this is really going to be a fun video. I hope y'all enjoy it, but I'm kind of just doing this for my own benefit, so yeah. Okay, so the first book was the one I talked about earlier, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and pull some from this shelf that I pulled when I actually did the reorganization with the flowers, which I'll link up there. I pulled some Melody Carlson books, and so far basically all of those are still there except 4. I reread 4 of them, and it is the dating games series: First Date, Blind Date, Double Date, Prom Date. And they aren't my favorites by her. I don't really think I would ever reread them again now that they have officially all been reviewed. Well, book 4 will be reviewed next month on BFCG. So if you're interested in the series, you can check out the content review of it all. But yes, I have a series I enjoy by her more, so I won't be keeping these. Okay, so I'm missing another part of a series, but it's somewhere on here. I'll grab it later. So the next book is Fatal Frost by Nancy Mel. I remember enjoying the suspense books, but I didn't realize how heavy it was going to be about drug cartels and such, which, I mean, if you're interested in that, there you go. It was a pretty light romance, but it did get a little kissy at times. But I mean, I don't feel like there's anything that really stuck out to me on why I should keep this book. And I probably won't reread it ever, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass this one along. Okay, next is actually a series of 4 books, but I don't own book 4 because book 4 was weird. And book 3 I haven't found, so it's somewhere here. I don't remember the spine color. But it's a Swipe series by Evan Agler. This was an interesting series to me, but I feel like the 4th book really ruined it for me because the 4th book was really strange, so I don't own that one at all anymore. The series never really, like, it was very open-ended, and I just don't remember really being overly thrilled with a lot of it. So while it can be fun in some aspects, I know for a fact my library has it, so if I ever wanted to reread it, I could just get it from there, because I don't think I need to keep it on my bookshelf. Okay, so kind of going with, those were dystopians, so kind of going along with that are more fantasy books. And I feel like I'm going to break a lot of friends' hearts when I say I'm not going to keep Romanoff or Fox by Nadine Brandes. I mean, they were overly clean when it came to romance or just sexual content in general, but both of them had a lot of fighting and such that just really wasn't my cup of tea. And honestly, fantasy elements just really aren't my thing anyway. So, I mean, I would still recommend these for clean fantasy. There's not really any Christian content per se. And yes, they are beautiful to have on your bookshelf. I don't really own any hardback books, so it's a little bittersweet, but at the end of the day, I really want to reread these, so I'm going to see if my best friend wants them, because she was interested in them. The next book is The White Knight, The Lost Kingdom, and the Sea Princess by Judy Carlson. This book I read quite a while ago, and I don't really remember much about it besides it was fantasy. Again, fantasy is not really my cup of tea. It was interesting. It's called epic fantasy. Is that a thing? So, I mean, it was very thick, so I really don't think I'm ever going to reread it. And yeah, so I'll put, when editing, if I'm like, oh wait, there was something about the books, I'll go ahead and put them here on the screen so y'all can see. There's some on here, like, I don't specifically remember why, but like I looked at my reviews, I didn't really have raving things to say for my personal thing. And I just want to keep books that I really remember enjoying and just would most likely reread again, and just like they're ones I really enjoyed. So I just want to weed through my bookcase again. And it's kind of funny because I did this a while back, not on camera, because I had that big like room tour video and then also the building my bookcases video. Those two, which I'll link up there, those got very popular here on YouTube for some reason. And looking back, I'm like, wow, do I even own half of those books anymore? Because like I read a lot more back then, and I tried out a lot of new authors. I had a big TBR stack though, and now I have a very small one though. So I mean, I'm okay with this difference though. Like, life changes, your book taste changes, and I really just want to keep the ones that I really love. I love tea, I really do. Okay, next we are going to do not compromise. This is how I always say this word, and that's not right. Compromised. There you go. Compromised Identity by Jodi Bailey. This is a legit large print love-inspired suspense book. So, the word, like, look how big it is. Okay, it doesn't actually, no, that looks bigger. Why doesn't it look that big on camera? It's really big. Anyway, so this one was a military suspense, and it just really, looking back, I don't really remember too much about it. So I'm just going to pass this along to someone who maybe would enjoy it more. I think this is the last book on my straight unhaul list, is the Operation Christmas Child story by Franklin Graham. Yes, Franklin Graham. And I mean, it was good. I enjoyed hearing about it. I read this a few Christmases ago. I just don't really think I would reread this one. So yes, I actually think my church does the shoe boxes every year, so I might actually put this in my church's library. So there we go, we have a plan for it. Okay, so here are the books I am completely just going to straight unhaul, and now we get to move on to the books I need to pull off to see if I'm going to reread to keep them or reread to unhaul them. The first books are way up there. I don't have my stool in here. Okay. So I don't really want to go grab a ladder from the garage. So I'm just going to do something that you should not do, but I'm actually going to take off my socks first. So don't do this at home. Little disclaimer. yada yada yada. I can't get the other sock off my foot. There. Okay. So I have to grab books all the way at the tippy top. So I'm standing on a stool. And this is precarious, but oh well. Can I just drop these books down, or would that be like frowned upon? Oh wait, no, I want to keep that book. Come back. Anywho, I'm not flexible, in case anyone was ever curious. Oh, why are these so heavy? Okay, wrist. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, that was my workout for the day. To begin with the, actually let me put my socks back on, my feet are cold. I feel like this video is just all over the place, so I kind of apologize, but at the same time, maybe it's entertaining. I hope it's entertaining. I'm actually going to put my hair up, though. So, wait, I can't talk with this in my mouth for just a second. So, to start off, so now moving on forward here, these books I'm gonna talk about are the books I am pulling off my shelf to decide whether I'm going to, after I reread them, I have to reread them first. I'm either going to keep them and put them back on the shelf, or after rereading them, I'm going to decide, you know, I really don't need to keep this book on my shelf and pass it along. So there's two ways each of these books could go. So with that, the first, I guess, series that I would like to reread, and I think actually finish, I don't think I've finished it, is the Hidden Diary series by Sandra Bird. I reviewed some of these, but they're old reviews. So there's 8 of them. They're little. I think I can knock these out pretty quick on this list and just get that done. This next book is actually Summer with the Moody's by, well, am I going to share all of these? I don't think I'm going to share all of these. I'll share what I have right now on the floor, and then I'm just going to get to work and maybe show y'all at the end. I don't know. Is it weird to show you books that I need to reread, but I'm not sure my opinion of them really? I think that's weird, but that's me. Summer with the Moody's by Sarah Maxwell. I read this series a long time ago. I only own book 1 personally, so I really don't think I'll be keeping this one by the rereading, but I'll just reread it to review it. And then the next, and they're all over the floor. Can I just drop these books down, or would that be like frowned upon? Oh joy, they're out of order. Okay, oh well. So I'm just gonna hold these upside down, y'all. So sorry, also not sorry. Is the Sisters in Time series, and okay, setting those down. They're just they have a great premise, and like if you're a homeschooling mom, then I think they're worth a look into. But personally for me, I'm just not in their target market. Let's clarify that, obviously. And certain aspects of them, I'm just like, they don't feel the best written at times. They're by different authors. Or the characters just are a little too bratty in my opinion. But, I mean, if you are a homeschool mom and you're learning about a certain time period, I think they are worth a look into. Maybe you read them prior to decide. Many libraries carry these. Like, they're a pretty standard Christian fiction, young, like, middle grade reads. So, I think it's fine. I think I've reviewed only half of these thus far. I think less than half. No, less than half. I have 2 of them over there, too. So, honestly, they aren't really my thing. There's just something about them that just doesn't, I haven't really been enjoying them. So, I most likely will just finish them out for reviewing purposes and just pass them along. Because I don't think I'll be keeping these. And see, that's going to be the case with, I feel, a lot of these reread to unhaul or keep list books, or I'm really just going to reread them for a review's sake, to do an updated review or to do an actual review. So Yep, that's what I'm doing. Next on our list, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll see y'all in a minute. Before I go off again, hi, focus on me. I do, like I mentioned earlier, the Diary of a Teenage Girl series by Melody Carlson and the Life at Kingston High series. This is three books, and this is, I have to do math, hang on, 16 books. And I have been saying I'm going to reread this series. I have not read this series since prior to BFCG, so like a good 7-8 years ago. And I own them all, so I might as well just go ahead and get them reviewed on BFCG. But this has been like a series that's been kind of low-key daunting because there's just quite a few of them. And I know because they're Melody Carlson, they're going to have teen drama and angst. So that means content and typically a long review. So these are kind of like, these are the official first ones on this list. Not that I'm going to probably read these in the order I put them on. But they're just ones I need to just go ahead and get read to see if I'm going to keep or give away. So yes, there we go. And actually, I do want to point out real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and do this part on camera talking to y'all so I can explain. The Holly's Heart series by Beverly Lewis, I actually have only read the first collection here. Yeah, I don't think I read collection 2 or 3. So these have technically been on my bookshelf and I haven't read them, and that really, like, that just grrr, I just want to go grrr. So we're going to change that. I'm going to remove these for the moment because I'm going to reread them eventually. This is going to be a long list of books to reread. But that is what we're doing. So I wanted to talk about those because we're now into the portion of the video where we are, again, these are not the books I'm unhauling. I am going to reread them to see if I want to keep them or unhaul. Again, disclaimer. Okay, and we're continuing. My pile's getting high. Okay, should I mention these? I don't know. I guess I could, and y'all could like keep me accountable. I'm just gonna mention them because why not? Okay, so Wreath by Judy Christie. The rest of the series is somewhere on this bookshelf. Here's one, and here's the other. The Miracle Girls series. The Miracle Girls series by Anne Dayton and May Vanderbilt. There is 4 books in this series. I remember kind of enjoying them, but I'd like to reread them to see if I want to keep them, which is just going to be the story with all these books. Next is also a Sandra Bird series, and it's the London Confidential series. So Asking for Trouble, Through Thick and Thin, Don't Kiss Him Goodbye, and Flirting with Disaster. I just want to go ahead and get this series read. Again, they're small, they're little. I think I can knock these out pretty quick. Okay, and then 3 books by Margaret Brownlee, which only 2 are connecting, is The Undercover Bride and The Petticoat Detective. I remember really enjoying the Pinkerton detective aspects of this series, but I don't own book 3. But I just remember it being a little kissy, so I want to see, okay, what is my opinion of it now, and see. And same goes with Gunpowder Tea by Margaret Brownlee. I love Gunpowder Tea, and I got to try it after learning about it in this book, and I love Gunpowder Tea. So I'd like to keep this book, but again, I remember it being kissy, so I want to see, is my opinion of it still being too kissy the same? Disclaimers everywhere is it's not that I think my standards have necessarily changed. It's just I want to be more selective of what books are on this bookshelf. There we go. Those are the words I've been looking for. I want to be more selective about the books that are on these bookshelves behind me in every single video. There we go. That's what I've been trying to say. Hopefully that was my last disclaimer. Okay, Honor by Lynn Coty, last names. Remember really enjoying this one, but I don't remember too much about this, so I want to reread it. Next is The Rose of Winslow Street by Elizabeth Camden. I remember this one being a little strange in some parts, so yep, just gonna reread it. We'll see if I choose to keep it. So next is 3 books in the Love Finds You series, and that's Love Finds You in Sundance, Wyoming, Love Finds You in Sun Valley, Idaho, and Love Finds You in Snowball, Arkansas. So just gonna try these out again. I remember like enjoying them like on an average. Like I gave them 3 stars, and I want to see, do I need to keep them or not? That's really just the purpose of all this rereading, is I'm going to see if I want to keep it or not. What else do we got? Oh, so I do eventually want to reread There You'll Find Me by Jenny B. Jones, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that in this rereading readathon, because I'm not sure if I would keep this book after rereading it, but I do remember enjoying a lot of different aspects of it. So, you know, I'm going to leave this one on the bookshelf for now, and later, much later, we will see. These two, the Amish Girls series, Volume 1 and Volume 2, I am keeping. I'm just going to put them up there. I forgot to do that, so those are going to go up there. What else? Things are falling. Ooh, does my bookshelf look... Oh, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad, okay. Maybe I'll end up keeping more than I think. Okay, because my stack's getting really tall, let's just name off A Stitch in Crime by Kathy Elliott. It is a contemporary mystery. This book is so big. Waking Beauty by Sarah E. Morin. I want to reread, but again, this is probably going to be one of the last books I reread because it's like 468 pages. That's a lot of pages. So this one I do need to reread just to review, and it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling. So next is, this is actually a book. I'll come back to that one. So Threads of Hope by Andrea Boschar. I apologize. I remember really enjoying this book, and I don't really remember much about it. So we're going to fix that. Savannah from Savannah by Denise Hildreth. Again, I remember really enjoying this one a long time ago, but I don't remember much about it. Okay, and then the Alison O'Brien on Her Own, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I read Volume 1, but I don't think I ever read Volume 2 by Melody Carlson. Just gonna do that, add more Melody Carlson to my rereading pile. And then 2 Jen Toronto books is A Most Peculiar, and A Talent for Trouble by Jen Toronto. This is book 2 and book 3, I think. And I really enjoyed book 1. I remember enjoying book 4. But these 2, I don't remember much. And I remember book 2, I rated like 2 stars. And I want to remember why. I felt like it dealt with prostitutes, or just it had something in it that I'm like, I don't really remember what. So I want to reread them, jog my brain. So I probably will just reread those 2 in a series. The other ones I won't do book 1, though I love book 1. I might do book 4. I don't know yet. Okay, another Love Finds You book is Love Finds You in Silver City, Idaho. Don't remember this one really at all. And to add even more Melody Carlson books to this TBR, I have the ones that are slightly Amish. And that is Double Take, Trading Secrets, My Amish Boyfriend, and A Simple Song. And I remember when A Simple Song came out, and I really enjoyed it, and I rated it 5 stars, and I think I rated Double Take 5 stars too. And I really don't feel like that rating would be the same anymore. So I want to reread these, see what I think about them. So, and these 2 was a contemporary fairy tale, and I remember being highly amused by it, but that's all I remember. So I need to fix that as well. And that's If the Shoe Fits and Rise and Shine by Sandra G. Berger. Okay, and then we have Plots and Pans and Trails and Targets by Kelly Eileen Hake. This one was actually supposed to be a series, and it never continued. And I remember being disappointed because I enjoyed both of these books. Like, just the title of this one has me tickled. Plots and Pans. But, yeah, just gonna reread those. Next. Okay, I think I actually talked about this one in a recent video. Did I? I'm not sure. But it's the Cactus Week Challenge by Erica Veach. Yes, I did try. I did mention this in the past video, but I don't know which one, but I'll link it up there. And I just want to reread it. Don't really remember much besides what the back cover says. Carolina Gold by Dorothy Love. I remember enjoying this one because there was like little to no romance in it. So just, yeah, I'm gonna reread it. Man, this is a big list. Okay, we're not even done. Ah, here's the other swipe book. Okay, so we have Sneak by Aaron Vagler, and I apologize. This is the second book third book. Anyway, it's a book in the Swipe series. Oh, my card's full. So, yeah, just not gonna keep this one at all because this series, yeah, wasn't really my thing. Let's get this one on and we will continue. I feel like, let me look this angle. Okay, you know, there's quite a few holes, but if you keep in mind that there was already holes from the lack of flower pots, I don't think it's that bad. And in all honesty, I want to come back high. There are more books I could put up to the tippy top of like the young preteen books, like the Glimmer Girls series or like a few other series. Like I think there's about 4 series still on this bookshelf that are considered preteen books that I could move up, but those I really enjoyed, so I'm going to leave them on this bookshelf for now. And yes, there we go. For the to reread to see if I will keep or remove is 5 Beverly Lewis books, and the first 3 are the Shunning series, and obviously the Shunning is arguably her most famous book, and I've seen the movie quite a few times, so I think I'll probably just like skim these ones and just see, do I want to keep these or not. I actually don't even keep these on my rainbow shelf. They're down at the bottom because the spines are kind of strange to correlate to rainbow. So, you know, we'll see about these. Not sure. Then I also have 2 of her newer releases, and that's The Road Home and The Proving. I don't remember really loving these 2, or like I have other books by her that I'm keeping that I enjoyed more. So I'll probably just again skim these, see if I choose to keep them or not. This was an advanced reader copy of a book that came out a long time ago, but it's The Road to Testament by Eva Marie Everson. I remember really enjoying this book. I don't remember the details though, so we need to fix that. Next is the Enslaved series by Katie Clark. It's Vanquished, Deliverance, and Redeemer. These are obviously, as you can tell, fantasy dystopian kind of things. And religion's been outlawed. The mom gets sick. I don't remember if they said with what, but I'm gonna reread these to see, you know, there we go. Okay, let me double check my list, and I think that's like all for this batch. Once I get all of these reread, I really want to reread a few other, like about 10 other ones roughly that I can see off the top of my head that I think I'm going to keep them though. So I'm going to leave them on here for now, but eventually I would like to reread those. But they have, I think, a higher chance of me keeping them than the ones that I just pulled. Let me double check things and I will get back to you all. Okay, so for love-inspired books, I keep those just all mixed up, actually, in a rainbow order. So with those, I have a few that I'll reread to see if I want to keep them or not, because love-inspired books are either a hit or a miss for me. And yeah, just gonna see what I think about these. So these are 6 books in a mini-series called Texas Twins. And basically the parents split and they had 2 sets of twins? 2 sets of twins. I think, yes, okay. So 2 sets of twins, and they basically each take a twin. So then they later rediscover, like, oh my goodness, I have a twin. And then there's a younger brother, and yeah, just, I remember it being very interesting. This was one of the first love-inspired series I really read. So we're just going to reread because they would be light and simple and see what we think of them. Okay, not related to that series at all is Saving Gracie and Daddy's Little Matchmaker. And Saving Gracie actually was the first love-inspired book I read. And it's set in Galveston, and the main girl runs an ESL camp. So I think I'm still going to enjoy this one, but I just want to reread it. And then we have 2 suspense books, Agent Undercover and The Secret Heiress. And we'll get to those as well. And then 2 historical books is The Groomed by Design and His Precious Inheritance. Really, I feel like the love-inspired historical books really aren't my kind of thing. But I did keep these 2, and I want to remember why I kept them, so a rereading is in order. Okay, now I think that's everything, but let me just go through and double check, and I will get back with y'all. Okay, so I missed 2. Overall, not bad. Good job, Lindsay. One of them is Gone Missing by Cami Tang. This is a love-inspired suspense book. And then another one I want to reread is Not by Sight by Kate Breslin. I remember really enjoying For Such a Time by her debut book. And eventually I do want to reread that one, but not really in this readathon, whatever we're going to call this. So there's that. Alright, how much of a mess are my bookshelves? Let me look. Oh, well, that's not too bad, y'all. That's probably, what, a good shelf up? Yeah, okay, it's probably like a shelf and a half of books we lost. But looking at the books, it doesn't look that way. Anyway, that's not too bad. I don't feel like I completely destroyed my bookcase. There we go! We did it! Okay, this already feels so much better though, y'all. Like, I know it looks like a disaster, but I feel happier, like, looking at these books. I'm like, yes, these are the books I really enjoyed. Like, yeah, I can say that. So, there is still, again, like I said, there's still about maybe 10 to a dozen, maybe 20 books that eventually I want to reread, but I think they have a higher chance of me keeping them than the ones I put down here. So, you know, there we go. Yay! I think there's still a couple I'm gonna think about and see if I should put to the rereading list or not. So I'll do that another day. I'm quite hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. I don't know how I'm gonna do this video. I think I'm gonna make this kind of like a series. So yeah. So I'm going to really focus on rereading these books and discussing it. So maybe we'll have more reading vlogs. Maybe I'll do a little readathon later. So, you know, that's what we're going to be working on. And I'll do a few other videos here and there, like the anticipated reads of 2020 or 2020. Wow. And then like my favorite books of 2019. So like I'll squeeze other videos in. But I'm really excited because once I have all these done, then maybe I'll actually do a bookshelf tour for y'all. Actually, I take that back. I promised nothing. Y'all, a bookshelf tour is so crazy to do. I always get asked to do that. And yes, eventually I will do it. But the thing is, like, I really feel like I need to reread all these books first. And now with these stacks, quite a few stacks, going on here, I will be able to do a bookshelf tour eventually. Eventually, I'm not promising it within the next year though, y'all. I have a lot to reread. And then I also eventually want to do the bookshelf tag because I just saw that tag and it looks so much fun. So, you know, we're going to completely reorganize, and eventually I want to change up the rainbow pattern. Gasp, but no, it's still going to be in a rainbow. But I was really inspired by my lovely friend Rose over on Bookstagram. I will put the picture here. I actually saved this from her Instagram story because I fell in love with it. Sorry, Rose. So, like, I'll put her stuff here. And I'm just like, oh, I love how she organized it. So I'm like, I'm intrigued. So, you know, I might just do that one day too. But first things first, focusing on rereading. And I will see y'all in another video later, maybe in a week or two. Not sure what my schedule will be, but I will see y'all then. I'm going to probably add a little time lapse and b-roll here and show y'all the amount of books that are on the floor, and I will see y'all then. So that's it for this video with me talking, I think, and I will see y'all next time. I'm Lindsay from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where in 2019 there's a new review every Friday. I post a new video on this channel. I try to every other week, but you know, life happens sometimes. And I'm on Instagram very randomly, but I'm trying to do better. I'm trying. It's a work in progress. So with that, let me show you all the books on the floor, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye! Alright everyone, Lindsay again, different camera time. So we have these books I need to put way up there in that cubby. So I'll do that later. I probably won't do that on camera because I'll probably fall. But then we have these books over here, not those. Those, ignore things on the floor. These are books I am not going to keep at all. And then we have the rereading stack, and then those as well. This is probably really shaky, I apologize. So we have all of these books I need to reread, and those up there as well. But we have a goal. We can do it! I hope y'all will join me in rereading some books too on y'all's shelf. I think that would be a fun challenge. So, if you have books you've been meaning to reread and haven't, tag you're it. So I will see y'all next time. Bye!